Watch who?
Hello.
And welcome to Too Much Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to Watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
Yeah, and we're continuing our watch through those 90s wilderness years when Doctor Who wasn't on and we had straight-to-video spin-offs. Oh, what's that? Hang on. Oh. Sarah's the phone for you. It's Winslet.
Hello. What do you want me to do?
Not now, Winslet. Sorry. There we go. I've always wanted to say that.
No, no, you have.
Anyway, so we are talking about the straight to video.
If anyone ever doubts whether we rehearse these, we don't.
Straight to video, 1997 spin-off Auton, which I don't know how many people have actually seen or not. I certainly saw it at the time because I love the Autons.
Yeah, you are an Auton fan.
Absolutely. We had a bit of a struggle. So I looked online. So I obviously have this on DVD. But I was, looking around for maybe a link online so you could watch it. I found a site which had all like Russian writing on it and stuff, but it was a good quality version. So I sent you the link so you could have a look. And then you phoned me up.
Like text you going, Mark, this is in Russian.
And I thought you meant, well, yeah, the website's in Russian, but the video was fine when I watched it. And I was like...
And I rang you. And I was like, no, Mark, it's in Russian. And you were like, no. And I was like, no, Mark, watch it. It's in Russian.
So I pressed play and there's Dr Sal and everyone talking Russian. But we did find an English copy eventually for you to watch. Oh, and also I should just say, sorry, everyone, this is a late episode. I mean, this is the first time ever we ran out of the schedule. There was no episode last week, I suppose. We missed a week.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it, I think, once before, but it was a technical issue.
Yeah, it's
quite a timing issue.
But also, I was just thinking, well, one, we are pretty consistent over the nearly 5 years, so it is quite rare that we miss a week. And also, this is an authentic Doctor Who Wilderness Years experience. As a Doctor Who fan in the 90s, was there going to be a new series? Wasn't there? We didn't know when new Doctor Who content would appear, and it would just appear out of the blue, like this episode. Nothing one week, suddenly an extra episode or whatever the next week. So everybody out there, you are getting the full authentic experience.
That's how we're selling it, is it, Mark? That's hilarious. Just honestly, guys, it's coming up to Christmas, as you know, because, I mean, we're late recording. Life has been busy.
We did say that a couple of months ago when we started. It did sort of start when we started the Wilderness Years as well, when we said, it's coming up, we're going to be ill and busy, it's always going to happen. But
I can't remember what it was what was it last week?
No, it's been a couple of weeks. It was Liz Shaw and Probe and the pus and the bum and all of that stuff happening.
Yeah, but I can't remember why in particular we've ended up.
Oh, right. I thought you meant what we watched last time.
It wasn't the pus and the bum, but like...
No, we were going to... I can't remember why.
Because we were only going to do it on Saturday, and that would have been late anyway.
No, I think we scheduled it late on Saturday, and in my mind I was like, oh, it'll come out a day later. And then we rescheduled it
because I literally was dying. I was so exhausted, and you had a headache, and I was like, this isn't going to happen.
I put out for our Patreons, actually, at the weekend, our episode about the Frankenstein film, which I found and remastered. We're so serious. We are really going into... I don't know what happened when we got... Well, when we started off, it was number 21 as well, so it was quite early on.
In the books, this is...
In the books, yeah.
I was going to say. I just think then. Well, also, that would also depend on where in the day we were recording.
I mean, you mentioned that we were doing a few in a day, so a couple of films in a day.
I mean, we don't do this now, but for listeners, we have talked about our book podcast that is not in the world, but every now and then Mark finds an old episode and drops it out there. when we did that, we used to record 3 in a day, didn't we?
Like, I'm talking 3 films.
We used to, and like, not just record, we would watch and record. So I would come for like just before lunch, usually. Like, what? I'd aim for 10, but it's me, so it'd be 11. We would watch the film, order lunch between. We'd order 2 takeaways in a day. We just order takeaway all day. And they'd eaten, and then we'd record. Then we'd go straight into another one and record. And then, like, we get to, and we're like, right, we've just got to do this. So we'd order another takeaway. And then we'd do the same thing. Watch and eat. And then, and by the third one, be absolutely flagging. The third one. And sometimes I'd be falling asleep by then. I'd be like.
But you actually fell asleep, yeah.
I fell asleep a few times on the sofa.
Yeah. And nowadays, to get doing a 40-minute Liz Investigate is all we can manage. But, yeah, so it was really good listening to it back, actually. It was quite funny. But, yeah, so that is out there for our patrons at the moment. Frankenstein. But we are doing Auton, as I've said. So let's talk about this one. Another
kind of monster.
Yes. So the Autons, which we saw, have actually only been in actual Doctor Who like twice. In the third, it was the third Doctor's first story.
Yeah.
The shop window dummy.
Great appearance as well. Great moment.
Yeah, and that's why I really like them, because they're quite simple. They don't talk. They haven't got a silly voice. They are just this disturbing thing that just keeps sort of looming out at you, I suppose.
Well, there's something that, like, I think it's because, especially that first appearance, there's something that you see every day. And I think there's something scary in the known, isn't there?
Yeah, like a shop window dummy, Kim Kardashian in Madame Two Swords or whatever, coming alive.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
It's sort of like you could see this anywhere.
And this makes total sense to do a spin-off of the Autons, I think. They are our only original thing from Doctor Who in this. We've got a whole new set of characters. Well, and Unit as well. I mean, Unit, the Autons, it's budget friendly. It's all set in a warehouse. I feel like they know what their limitations are.
Yeah. I think they know it and they work to it very well.
They filmed it over a weekend in an actual warehouse. It's set in a warehouse, a few characters. And they've got these Autons, which are simple creatures to make. They're just people in some masks and stuff. The question does come up, though, sometimes, is do you work, like, creatively, do you work to your budget and what is possible and what is realistic? Because, Probe with the Liz Shaw and stuff, it's the same people, slightly different director and a few people behind the scenes that are different, but it's the same company. And some of the things that they've tried to do, they might not have been able to. Where do you stop your creativity in order to fit with a budget and a thing? I think that's quite interesting. Do you see what I mean?
But I think for this, particularly starting it off, I think it works really well. I think where it goes next is where things will get interesting. It works really well to start it in a contained space in a warehouse. It's now out in the world. So how it works, and that question comes up then, I think, of like, well, will it remain contained space? Not contained in like one space, but how will budget come into play then? Because this is more than one, I'm guessing.
I was literally about to say, have you been reading up on this?
No, I haven't at all. But I presume, well, it sort of leads it. Well, I'm going off the fact that you've just said that it's the same company that did the Probe, which makes me think that they've probably done more than one. It sort of leads into the idea of a spin-off. He takes her on board. We know it lives out there in the world. I haven't done any, no, I don't know anything more into this. Not like when I did the Liz Shaw one and read, no.
Well, yeah, so there are. It does carry on. There is another one. I think originally this was supposed to have the Brigadier and Kate in it. And I don't think they could do it at the last minute or something like that. So we've got this new set of characters.
I wonder if that's because someone else had the rights.
No, I think it was just literally the actors weren't available to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because actually I was also thinking, if they've got they've got Liz Shaw and they were doing the other probes around near this time, Liz could have been in this. She's linked to that first Auton story. I wonder why. I have no idea about behind the scenes and like the time frame of like making it and stuff, but you would have thought you could have put Liz within this, and because it just makes sense.
That it feels like its own story.
I mean, I think it works well as its own thing. I think you can watch this and not know anything about Doctor Who or anything like that for the first time. Very first time. Out of some of these spin-offs where I suppose with Liz and stuff you could watch it on its own, but I feel like this is just
I feel like the Liz ones are for the fans, and I feel like this is like a standalone spin-off. They do feel very different beasts.
Yeah, they do. They feel like, I mean, this is very well directed, I think.
It's really well done. When I was watching it, there were points where and it could have just been the quality of the video helping as well. Thank you, Russian.
Yes, it was a good quality.
It was a really good quality video that I think helped. But there were points when I was watching it and I was like, do you know what? If this was on like at this time, you could have this on like CBBS. There were not all of it. Do you know what I mean? Like there was like the blue light at the background with them at the front doing the sciencey bits. I was like, I can imagine this as like a CBBS science, and then they go off and spin drama thing. It goes darker, obviously, in parts, but there were points where I was like, this could have been on BBC. And that idea, I think, of it being on a contained set, I think adds to that.
So it's all set in this unit warehouse where I think unit are have logged and they've got all their old paperwork and everything. I mean, it's set in the 90s, so all the stuff that happened in Doctor Who in the 70s, it's all been put in boxes and shoved away.
I love the idea as well. It kind of fits with Doctor Who itself. Like, it's all in a warehouse, shoved away in the dark. No one knows about it. Yeah,
and we see Dr. Sal, Dr. Sally Arnold, who is our sort of new Liz Shaw type character. She's our scientist, and she's got one of those, obviously out of a box in this warehouse, something from 1970s Doctor Who she's found. I bet the label was like, this was John Pertwee's first story in 1970. So it's exactly the same replica prop of that Nestine ball thing that glows. So she's experimenting on that, and for whatever reason they haven't filed the paperwork very well, so no one knows what it is.
Yeah. It was the 70s. It was whatever year it's supposed to be. Bear in mind the 70s was set in the future, wasn't it?
Well, let's not even go there. So there's her, and I have to say, I'm going to get straight to it, and her and Janice, her assistant. Janice, who is like really horrible to Winslet on the phone.
Hello? Dr. Arnold?
No, Winslet, it's Janice. Dr. Sal's a little tied up at the moment.
Tell him not now, Winslet.
Not now, Winslet.
Wait a minute. Dr. Arnold specifically asked me to find any other containers with the same serial number as the one that contained that sphere thing. Said it was very important. Now, I've been doing that over and above everything else I'm supposed to be doing down here. Giving it my full attention. It's taken me the best part of 2 weeks. And as a matter of fact, I have found a large number of crates with the same code. AAA/RH/2961.
Thank you, Winslet. No time.
Some of them have the letters AUTON.
Winslet, not now.
And she basically wakes it up and it starts pulsating and it explodes, and there's a containment problem. Now, because Janice is only in one scene, and I absolutely love Janice, we have to talk about her a minute. Because
we'll give Janice a hot minute.
We have to give Janice a minute. Because, I mean, one, she puts her face right up to that thing. So she sort of deserves what happened to it. When do you put your face right up close to some science experiment like that? It's going to blow up in your face. I'm sorry, Janice.
But I wondered whether it was like talking to her and like bringing her in. Not just like, oh, what's this? I thought it was like transmitting to her, and that's why she was like getting closer and closer.
Oh, well, she is played by a lovely actress called Verona Shard. Okay, we'll have to go here. Verona Shard. I mean, her credits aren't massive, but do you know what she does as her other job? It is absolutely amazing. She does.
It's absolutely what?
She does. It's absolutely. Yeah, sorry.
So my brain just registered what you said.
She does.
Or didn't.
Verona's musical balloon band. She does kids' parties, basically. Right. It's a balloon donkey show, live music with a twist. Go to musicalballoonband.com if you want to find out more. There is Verona. She's playing like children's festivals. She's going to libraries and stuff. She has these balloon animals and she sings songs about this donkey and all these other animals and stuff. And you can hire her for any... Oh, sorry, I've got the website up and there's... There's sound effects. You press on the donkey. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry, you can't hear it. There's all. Like,
I'm going to press on the donkey.
It's. Oh, have you got the website up?
Yeah. I can't get sound effects.
There he is, Cecil the donkey. Now Cecil absolutely loves to dance. Who likes dancing? Who likes singing? I've got some action. Point to the ceiling and the floor. To the ceiling and the floor. To the ceiling and the floor.
Anyway, so if you go there, you can see. I mean, you can see her donkey and everything that she does. I mean, Auton is just a brief part of her career. It's all about the balloon donkeys. Everyone. Do check that out. That's what I always see. Whenever I see Janice, I just see that balloon donkey and all of the wonderful shows and things that she does.
In Nottingham.
Mainly in Nottingham, yeah. Oh, and also, shout out to somebody else. Actually, no, let me just read this out a second about her. The musical balloon band was founded by Verona Shard, Janice and Auton, in 2013.
It doesn't say that, everyone. It just says Verona Shard.
It says here as well, Verona Shard leads the band on vocals, balloon sculpting and plot creation, and Andrew Fettes regularly performs alongside or assists and directs. And Andrew Fettes is also in Auton. He is the bodyguard guy. He's called Winslet in Auton.
Oh, yeah. I remember Winslet. Yeah.
Who is also her husband in real life. So I'm just saying they might be nominated. We've got a lot of real life couples throughout the 90s here. But then anyway, meanwhile... Oh, no, sorry, not Winslet. Sorry, he's not Winslet. He's Ramsey. Winslet. Oh, my God. I'm confusing everybody. Winslet is the guy in the warehouse that phones up Dr. Sal and was like, hey, Dr. Sal, you were looking for all these boxes with this serial code that related to the nesting thing that you've got, but you don't know what it is. I found a load of them, and then they've all got the Autons in. And he... basically, there's a massive containment thing. Everything gets shut down. I don't know where everyone else actually is. They all get evacuated. Unit comes in and people come in to be like, an alien threat has got out of this, or is out somewhere. So we bring in our other characters. So we have Lockwood, who looks a bit like the first Doctor, who is our Doctor character, I would say, of this episode, who probably would have been the Brigadier, I suppose, if the Brigadier was in it, but maybe playing in a different way. He's a bit scary. Yeah. I think
Lockwood's brilliant.
He's really good. It's really well acted. He has got Ramsey with him, who is his like a security guard and does part-time balloon parties as well. And then also we got Reece Shearsmith back. He cannot get enough of these spin-offs, can he? He's getting all the acting
getting a lot of work.
He can.
At this time.
Who is like a doctor that comes in to, as part of this containment scene. So there's those three, and then we've got Winslet, who is the warehouse guy, and Dr. Sal. Unfortunately, Verona Shard has gone off to do balloon parties. She can't do any more. Auton.
Yeah. I'm just reading about her. Yeah.
So there are sort of our 6 characters that we've got, or 5 characters really, all just in a warehouse, and that is the rest of the story. It's about 50 minutes. I'm never bored. I mean, not a lot particularly happens. If you break down the story, it's they find Autons and destroy Autons, and then he gets away. That's about it. But I quite like the build-up for it all. And the main part of it is Lockwood, who is investigating, who is a bit grumpy like the first Doctor. You're never sure if he's actually good or not. And he is.
I think he works really well in this. It's like a really interesting dynamic. It definitely keeps it interesting.
Because he's sort of interviewing everyone and being like, well, what do you know what you did? Why did you do this to Dr. Sal? And she's just like this new sort of young scientist that's come in and was like, I don't know, I just pressed the button and it all came alive and exploded.
I think for me, he helped keep the interest. He knows a lot what's going on but isn't saying, which is what we have with the Doctor quite a lot. That sort of, he does it really well though. he very much kept it going for me, I thought.
And there's a bit of a mystery with him as well, because
especially with how the Autons react with him, exactly, all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a lot of like questions about him,
because the Winslet guy, the caretaker guy, gets taken over by the Autons. So there's this sort of, I mean, it's just a bit of pink goo that's just flying around and takes him over. So he ends up being taken over. He's the baddie, really. He's like the human face of it all. Lockwood, you're never sure, like you say, if he knows what's going on or not. And there's a few lines in there where they're like, "Oh, your unit's creature." I took it to believe that Lockwood was like a good Auton or a good alien that is working for UNIT or something, because he has these moments where he's going into trances, or but he doesn't seem to know what's going on, but he knows something, or he's like telepathic. He says things like to people that.
But he's like the Doctor in this. He's the character of the Doctor, but as head of unit. So it's done in a way. I'm almost, dare I say it, I'm almost glad it wasn't the Brigadier.
I mean, I don't think it would work as well. It wouldn't be as creepy. It wouldn't be as effective if it was just a Brigadier who's a bit too nice, sort of.
Oh, but the Brigadier would have been the Brigadier, and who's the military side. What this brings is this sort of like non-doctor head of unit, and understands, like, this is what unit is and what we do, and doesn't know what these are, but has this knowledge. And yet as an audience, we don't fully know who he is. And I quite like that. As a series idea, you can get behind of like, well, we're going to find out more about this guy as well.
It just does feel more polished.
I feel like if you were a fan, you already know what the Autons are.
Yeah.
So this gives you something else to get into. If you're also watching this for the first time, there's like the two angles. You're like, what are the Autons and who is this? And that's enough angles, isn't it?
And Dr. Sal then brings us a few lighter moments.
Well, she's the companion.
She is the companion, yeah, but it just works really well. She's a bit sarcastic. She's a bit like...
To me, she's the companion role. She's the one asking the question. She's going to him like, well, what is this? She's like our voice in that situation. All right, she's the scientist, but I always say the companion is sort of us in the situation. It's always the viewer. Like, what would we be like in that situation? What would we do? She has no idea. All right, do you know what? She's poked at something. She might be clever in a scientist, and she's poked at something bad's happened, and all this is going on. She has no idea. She's us. We're discovering with her.
And then you have to have a couple of extra sort of Unity people. So Reece Shearsmith is this doctor that's helping Lockwood. Obviously has worked with him a long time and sort of knows what he's like and how he is. Same with Ramsey.
Which I think is helpful. I think that works well. That's sort of like having unit soldiers that just understand.
Because if you didn't have someone like that, you wouldn't trust Lockwood. You'd be like, actually, is he the baddie this time?
Yeah.
Because those guys trust him and know him. And that helps the others. And Reece Shearsmith is a great actor again. Looks exactly the same as he does now.
Hasn't aged.
He was like a school kid in the last one we watched, and now he's in this. I mean, absolutely.
And he's
brilliant.
really good in it. He's really strong.
I like all the acting is you just believe it all, even though they're just walking around some like warehouses with boxes and stuff. So you didn't get sort of bored. You think like 50 minutes was a good.
I mean, I did it in 2 watches. I did it in a 30 and a 30, but that was more, it's hard to say. I mean, it was more of that's how it worked out convenience wise. I just had a gap of 30 minutes, so I started watching it, and then I finished it before. And I'm not sure, would I have just kept watching it? I don't know. Because maybe.
I feel like, because I bought this one at the time because I love the Autons. I got it from HMV. And I feel like if you'd spent like $12.99 on a video for this, it would be worth it. Whereas maybe some of the others, you'd be like, I loved it. I just thought it was great. It felt like new Doctor Who, or as nearest as you were going to get so far.
Yeah.
Because then when the Autons come out, they look exactly like the Spearhead from Space ones. They're obviously a bit of a newer mask and stuff. And you've got the handgun thing, which is classic. It just works really well. It's shot really well. I don't know how many they had, but it makes it look like there's loads of them. They're scary. like there's enough, gunfire and stuff. They've got some special effects going on with the unit soldiers and stuff. It makes it feel a bit bigger because they have filmed outside as well. You've got a few shots, it's literally just some army guys just outside, but it makes it feel like it's actually outside somewhere. And that blue camouflage. I used to have some trousers. I used to have those blue trousers.
Oh my gosh.
I think I went to a fancy dress party as a soldier. I just remember being like, I had the
how
waistcoat.
old have you been when this came out then? This is 96?
97. Maybe I got it like a year later. I would have been like 13, probably 12, 13 when this came out. But I think I went to the party. Maybe I was more like 16 when I went to the fancy. I remember it was my friend Chloe's. It must have been her 16th birthday, actually. She always used to have house parties. And she was...
Oh, here we go. Story time.
She wanted to be. She loved Far. Do you remember Farscape?
No.
That sci-fi show. It was shown on like BBC Two at the time. There was a blue lady. She was like Farscape. If you type Farscape and there was like this sort of bold blue lady. I remember she was that. She wanted to be that for her 16th birthday. And she spent the whole time being that blue lady, like covered in blue. From Farscape. I was the Marine person in the unit soldier get up. Who? I can't remember what else there was, but I just remember Anastasia, I'm Out of Love, had just come out, Anastasia's first song, and that was just on repeat. Everyone loved that. That was just on repeat the whole night because it was like the latest song. Anyway, back to Auton. It's a bit of a... I mean, it has been criticised for being a bit slow and not much happens and stuff, but I think we both like the character of Lockwood and those conversations. I wasn't... And you get the Autons as the sort of the action. They try and add a bit more because Reece Shearsmith gets injured. There's not really much point to that. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Just run around and be like... sort of maybe captures a little bit. But then there's this whole thing as well. It does tie into Doctor Who because when they go into... this secret room, they find all the Auton stuff. So they find that big glass tank that was in Spearhead from Space as well, that thing. And then the thing that Liz Shaw used to kill the Autons is what they grab, and it's exactly the same prop. And that's what they use again. So they just do what happened in Spearhead from Space all over again, basically.
And which, it's nice for the fans. If you're new watching it, you don't know. It works well.
Yeah, I would love one of those... those the energy unit things. I bet someone's selling them on Etsy or something as like replicas. I mean, they must be easy to make. I'll have to look that up. I will have to look that up. Yeah. So it's that cling film box thing. Yeah. The intrigue is who is Lockwood? What's going on? And like you say, it does set it up. That's something he says at the end, isn't it, to Dr. Sal, like, you're coming with me. Because there's like that bedroom set. And I reckon that is just a set within the same warehouse, as it feels like a set. They haven't gone anywhere else. They have filmed that on the same day in that thing. I'm just sorry Janice isn't around anymore. Yeah, it's just really good. It's one of these ones where we don't have much to complain about.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to complain. I have a lot of positive things to say. I think maybe my favourite so far.
I mean, it's definitely the most well made, I think.
Yeah, I think that helps. I think it's really well made. We're getting into like better quality sort of time. Just the story works really well. It's just really simple.
That's the thing. That's what I mean about because they could have been like, well, I mean, we'll see what happens, but they could have tried to recreate more, the huge Auton invasion and the shop window dummies coming to life again and all of that. And they probably didn't have the budget for it to do something like that. So I like the idea that they've done it because... Here's another story time. I've got to fit in these stories while I can.
Do, Mark, and we love your stories.
So when I was doing video production, we did this module on music videos. I love doing music videos. But this was like an extra competition thing in the summer. MTV did a music video competition. Have I told you this?
No.
So what you did...
Never come up.
So you applied. So there's a group of us that, from the uni, and we applied. And what you did, you went to London, you met in this pub, and you were randomly matched with a band... Like, you just pulled a CD out of the hat and you had the weekend to make a music video for them. And then you had to, like, hand it back. So we got Kish Mauve. It's a really good song. It's called Looks Could Kill by Kish Mauve. Look it up, everyone. otherwise known as Mima Stillwell, who produced Kylie Minogue songs and has done Will Young's album recently. But she also had a band. So we got this song. We were like, oh, what are we going to do? And we had some ideas. We had our student house over the summer. So there was like sort of like a basement. And it didn't have any floor or anything, but it looked really cool. So we put a rug down there and we're like, okay, we might do some sort of like Alice in Wonderland type thing. We found this dress. We phoned her up and was like, you're coming to High Wycombe? And she was like, I thought it had to be in London. I was like, it's Greater London, come to High Wycombe. So we got this woman from this band just turned up. We met her at the train station and was like, yeah, you're coming to film for the day. And we're like, what are we going to do? But this is the point. So I'm sort of linking it to Auton. We were like, okay, we'll set up, for a music video, you can be a bit, so we're like, we'll have her in the basement, be like Alice in Wonderland. We like lit it really nicely. We had like sweets and stuff all over the floor, and she sort of laid down in it and stuff. And then we had, a white bit of, like paper outside in the garden because it was summer, and she was going to like graffiti spray paint and then sing in front of it and stuff. We'll do that. And then the other bit, we were like, oh, and then I know, why doesn't she like photocopy herself, and then her photocopy version of her can like get up and start dancing with her and stuff? And bearing in mind, we were like student video.
Yeah. I was like, how are you going to do this?
Nobody said, how are we going to do this? We were like, yeah, that's going to be the middle part of it and stuff. And it was only till like the last minute we were like, actually, we can't do this. So we ended up having some like black foil and stuff and filmed in front of that. And that's the shittest part of the video. I love the beginning. I love the end. The middle bit is the last minute. And like, that's the thing. You have to say, hang on a second. We do not have a budget for this. We can't do this. And I feel like that's some of these spin-off films where it's like, let's do this. Someone should say, actually, can we achieve this well?
Yeah.
But then you're cutting away your creative ambition. So it's sort of 50-50. But anyway, it's a great music video apart from that middle bit. Maybe I'll put up a clip of it or anything. And it's a great song. It's a great song. I don't think it was ever like properly. Oh no, it was released. I've got the vinyl somewhere. But I don't think our video was the official video in the end. It's weird, isn't it? Nobody said, how we can't do this, we can't achieve this in a weekend as well, like these Doctor Who ones. You should say, hang on, what can we achieve? We've got 2 days, we don't have much time. The ones that we like.
The difference here though is you don't have any of your material or any ideas until that. They have had all this time to prepare. Everyone just arrives for that weekend and it's like, here we go, and we do it.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you don't know how much pre-production they've actually had. Yeah, no, that is true.
It's not like, right, script guys, right, everyone go and get the props out the warehouse. Source of props, go.
Oh God. So I don't know if that ever got shown on in this MTV. So you had to make the video, and then you had to hand it back in London in this pub. And I got sent to do that. I had like the master copy. Except I stopped off and saw some people I knew from school. We had drinks and I had a bit too much drink. I was like looking at the time. I was like, oh no, I need to go and hand this DVD in. Went to this place and I didn't know they'd changed the location. So I went up into this pub and there was no one there. And I was like I was on the phone, and it was like Challenge Annika. I was going around like London being like, does anyone know where this place is? So then I ran and handed it in. We went to like a premiere thing of it, but we didn't win anything or anything. But it was really good fun. And it's I'll have to show you it, but apart from the middle bit, damn it. We'll see what happens with Auton in the future, but there are more Autons to come. So I do recommend it.
What's next?
Oh, well, we're back to Liz Shaw next.
Okay. Gosh.
It's the last Liz Shaw.
Okay, God, they jump around. Well, last Liz Shaw.
Well, I'm going in year order when they're released. So,
yeah. No,
weird.
I get it.
Yeah, it's weird, but there we go. So, yeah, this is a good one, people. This is a good one. People, what am I talking about? What is going on?
Good one, people.
It's a good one, people. I've never said that in my life. Oh my God.
Come on, people.
I forgot to say that was going to be my opener. I was going to say I went to see Wicked.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about Wicked.
We were going to talk about seeing Wicked, and I was going to say I saw Wicked one day, and then I saw Auton the next day, and was like, bit of a difference.
Different budgets, different time frames. Oh my God, Wicked was being filmed for bloody ages.
Yeah, if they had the budget, if Auton had the budget for Wicked, it would be, unbelievable.
What, the 50-minute Auton compared to the near 3-hour Wicked? My gosh, Mark. Ambition much?
Auton, what? Oh, okay, there is a trilogy of Autons. That could have been one,
It's all coming out now. All the spoilers. Mark will be getting hate mail.
Anyway.
Are we still on Twitter?
We are, but I'm not really posting very much. I was going to ask you what you wanted to do about that, if I should just not do anything on it.
Oh, I don't know.
But it's difficult.
What do you guys think? Listeners, let us know. Where are you all? Where are you at? Where are you going to? Mark, where are we at with our Instagram?
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there.
See, here's the thing, right, listeners, because I haven't listened. I don't know whether Mark even put in, but like, I do things when Mark.
I put that
I
in.
sort it, right? Mark had to sort out the Patreon. I was like, I will sort out the Patreon. I did it that night.
I've been posting. You see our Instagram. I'd post a picture for every. Look, I did. I'm up to season. I got up to season 22. I did like Taylor Swift.
I know.
Perry.
What season are we on now, Mark? What season are we on?
I know, but it's reminding people of what's going on. So we're nearly there. Just got to make a picture for every story. But thanks to everyone that has been in touch. We had a few people get in touch, say hello. We had some people on our Spotify Wrapped thing as well, which was nice.
Yeah, that was lush.
That was nice. Yes. So yeah, it is Probe. It's the Devil of Winterbourne next.
Where can you find us, Mark?
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky at 2WatchWho, and on Patreon at 2WatchWho as well. I'll probably find some other bits and pieces to post up there. Maybe I'll post the music video on Patreon, and you can see, everyone can tell the bit that didn't have the budget.
Yeah.
And we will see you very soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
To Watch Who.